Here's the thing. I don't know why the arrest hasn't been made. Do you guys not know where he lives?
Again, all questions need to be directed towards our public information officer.
With all due respect, sir, I can direct questions anywhere I want them. You can refuse to answer questions.
If you want them answered, you need to direct them to her.
Is she here right now?
No. All questions need to be directed towards us.
Well, I don't even know why you're standing here then if you can't answer questions.
I can't.
Well, I don't even know why you're standing here then.
Because I gave you a piece of paper.
Well, thank you for giving me the paper, and you are free to leave, sir.
This is my office.
No, you can stay, but I'm telling you, you're now free to leave. On October 3rd, 2023, after about 10 minutes of verbally berating a woman and cussing her out, Officer Felipe Hernandez with the Las Cruces Police Department shoots the woman in the back, killing her. 21 days later, on October 24th, 2023, Felipe Hernandez still hasn't been arrested for murder. Nobody within the entire government of New Mexico will answer any questions about where he is or what's going on. At this point, we don't know if Felipe Hernandez has been allowed to flee to Mexico, or if he's still out on the streets murdering people for the Las Cruces Police Department. The murder occurred in Donna Ana County in New Mexico, so I called the Donna Ana District Attorney's Office to find out when they'd be filing charges and when they would be arresting Felipe Hernandez. The women who answered the phone at the DA's office were rude, dismissive, told me they had no information to give me, and wouldn't tell me who I could contact to get information. So I published the story and started making the 4-hour drive down there, during which time you guys were contacting the DA's office to also try to figure out what was going on. Yeah, is Gerald here?
Can I ask what it's in regards to?
You can let him know it's James Freeman here, wanting to ask some questions.
Okay, I don't think he's here, sir. We had a conference in Albuquerque, and as far as I know, he's traveling back from that.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me go check, okay?
Okay. Or anyone that can talk to me about what's going on with the Las Cruces cop that murdered somebody.
Okay, 1 second.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Good.
Detective Luna with the Sheriff's Office.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How can I help you, sir?
Have you ever investigated a murder case?
No.
Have you?
Sir?
Have you investigated any murder cases
No,
before?
sir.
Okay. You guys know how long it typically takes to make an arrest when you have probable cause that someone committed a murder?
I'd be guessing if I gave you an answer.
Okay, probably pretty quick. Usually on scene is what I've seen. So if I showed you a video of somebody committing murder, do you think you'd be able to go to a judge real quick and get a warrant?
Like I mentioned earlier, I haven't investigated a homicide myself before, so
Okay.
I'd be guessing if I
Well,
gave you an answer.
and I'll tell you what, I don't know who would typically investigate a murder like this, whether it would be the sheriff's department, whether it would be the state police. And I don't even know if I'm in the right place at the DA's office. I really don't, but that's kind of why I called them this morning, to find out, okay, who is investigating it, what's going on.
Have you been able to talk to anybody?
No, they just blew me off this morning, which is why I said, oh, well, I'll just come all the way down there. Seems when I'm in person, all of a sudden people can talk to me, right? And so there's a lot of people that are looking for the same answers that I am.
Gotcha. No, I'm sure.
And it's no wonder we couldn't figure out exactly who investigates when a police officer commits a murder, because up until about a decade ago, the answer was absolutely nobody investigates police murders. Up until the last decade, for the most part, it was just completely assumed that any time a police officer uses deadly force, it's completely justified. No need for an investigation.
Tessa, until relatively recently, in fact, charges against officers following these shootings have been exceedingly uncommon pretty much anywhere across the state. We're talking the last decade or so. Part of that might stem from the fact there is really no standardized review policy in place, so the process is different all across the state.
I've heard before, give us time to investigate. The thing is that I'll bet you anything, if I were to go out there right now and shoot someone in the back as they're running away from me, I'd be in handcuffs instantly, right? And we're talking about, 23, 24 days now since that murder occurred, and I haven't heard anything about his arrest. Mm-hmm. So I hope you can understand how concerning that is. It's not like, I came in here the very next day. Yeah. I didn't even come in here the day after, the body cam footage was released, or, this is a long time to go without arresting a murderer. And I don't see this happen when it's a private individual.
Yes, sir. Give you this.
Yeah.
This is the number to the office.
To this office?
Roxanne is our public information officer,
Okay.
and any questions will be directed towards her.
Okay. Can you tell us whether your office is
No,
whether the
I
DA's
can't-
office?
I can't answer any questions.
Can't answer. Okay.
All questions have to be
How
directed to her.
come when a citizen murders
Again,
somebody,
all questions have to be directed towards her.
is there a reason you're being so abrasive?
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 Yeah. Because
Is
I
it-
can't answer any questions.
Okay, you don't need to be combative
All-
with me. I'm
This is
conducting
not
an
being
investigation
combative.
here.
I'm standing right here.
Sir.
But you can call that number and talk to Roxanne. She can address any questions you may have.
Okay. Is there a reason you're being so combative when I'm trying to conduct my investigation?
I think your definition of combative mind is different.
Okay. So if a citizen murders somebody, you can easily tell me whether the DA's office is investigating it or not. It's instant.
Again,
But all of a
any
sudden,
questions that you have, please direct to Roxanne.
all right. And I know some people will say, James, why you keep asking them? They told you where to go. Why don't you just do it? Because this isn't my first time. This is what government does. They bounce you around, give you the runaround, and nobody has answers for you. Nobody wants to take any personal responsibility for upholding the law, even though that was what they were sworn to do. Sure enough, Roxanne got a hold of me the next day and in a whole lot of words told me absolutely nothing. Should I just wait here until the arrest has been made? I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know why the arrest hasn't been made. Do you guys not know where he lives?
Again, all questions need to be directed towards our public information officer. All.
With all due respect, sir, I can direct questions anywhere I want them. You can refuse to answer
I'll tell you
questions.
what, if you want them answered, you need to direct them to her.
Is she here right now?
No.
And she works in this DA's office?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can call the office, you can leave a message for her, and she'll call you back.
And she's not here right now?
Not right now.
Okay. All right. Do you guys need information about his home address so you can go arrest him on a felony warrant? Or, I mean, what do you need?
All questions need to be directed towards Roxanne.
Well, I don't even know why you're standing here then if you can't answer questions.
I can't,
Well, I don't even know why you're standing here then.
because I gave you a piece of paper.
Well, thank you for giving me the paper, and you are free to leave, sir.
This is my office.
No, you can stay, but I'm telling you, you're now free to leave.
I've always been free to leave.
What's that?
I've always been free to leave.
Sure.
So,
Well, I'm going to be asking questions. So whether you want to stay here and choose not to answer them or whatever you want to do, if you want to keep being combative with my investigation, you can do whatever you want. But I'm going to continue to stay here and ask questions, okay?
okay. Well, you can call her and you can ask all your questions.
Cool.
And she'll get back to you.
Cool. You can call her as well and let her know I'm sitting here waiting.
But this office will close at 5 and you will have to leave.
I'll be out at 5. Be back in the morning.
We good boys?
Hey, thank you, sir. I'll let Hernandez. Thank you, sir, and you as well. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And you, you don't work for Las Cruces PD, do you? Because you got the same bad attitude they do.
Oh.
You might want to check it. You might want to check it. Nothing but lip service. When a citizen commits a murder and records themselves shooting someone in the back, they are arrested immediately. Immediately. There is no lack of probable cause on that body cam footage. I understand that it has to go to trial, that a jury gets to decide, and there may be some things in question that a jury could go one way or another. But I don't think that any police officer or attorney anywhere would say that there's not probable cause for an arrest there. Now, whether or not he gets convicted is up to a jury. I left the office to check out the rest of the building. When I returned 10 minutes later, they had turned off the lights, locked the doors, and all of our employees appear to have abandoned their jobs. Figures. As soon as I walked out, they locked up. They locked up and called it a day. Imagine that. Imagine that. When you let a cop get away with murder and people start asking you about it, you can just close and go home. The crazy thing is that these people are all still being paid their full salaries to not be here. At this point, I'm not sure if it was January 9th or January 10th, 2024, but the DA's office finally filed murder charges on Felipe Hernandez.
When announcing charges against Officer Hernandez yesterday, Doña Ana County DA Gerald Byers had this to say about the way police shootings are investigated across the state.
First, there is no standardized procedure. There's nothing in statute that says how it should be done. Some areas, some districts have an officer-involved shooting task force. Others do not.
Not only is there little guidance on how they should be handled, charges are rarely filed.
The problem is that shootings are treated differently when they're done by police officers than when they're done by citizens. The truth is, we all have the right to self-defense. If a shooting is justified by a police officer, it's justified by a citizen as well. The standard is supposed to be the same. Therefore, in the investigation of a shooting, the standard should be the same. It's a simple question of, was deadly force justified? The only difference should be that if a police officer shoots somebody, his own family and friends at the department should not be the ones to investigate it. It should be an outside source. But likewise, if I shoot someone, my family and friends should not be the ones to investigate it. It should be an outside source. Obviously, there's a much different standard being used here for police than citizens, though. When police have probable cause that you or me committed a crime, they arrest us immediately. Any idiot could watch that body cam footage and find that there is probable cause for an arrest. But it took 3 months and a collaborative effort between all the best and the brightest from every law enforcement agency in the entire state of New Mexico to find probable cause here.
Thank you for holding. How can I help you?
Is Roxanne in?
Can I get your name?
James Freeman.
This is Roxanne.
Hey Roxanne, this is James Freeman. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. So I talked to you a while ago about the Felipe Hernandez shooting, and at the time you told me it was under investigation. I see that charges have been filed now.
Yes, sir.
It appears that it took about 3 months for that investigation to be completed, right?
Yeah, not about that much.
Do you guys have any estimate on how much that investigation ended up costing?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, could you, I know you told me before, can you remind me exactly who all is involved in these investigations? Who's involved in the task force?
Every law enforcement agency has a representative in the task force.
Okay, so are we talking about 4 or 5 individuals on this task force?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
It changes, so it just depends. Law enforcement agencies are, they change captains and detectives and things like that quite often.
Okay. All right, but it was 3 months and probably at least 5 law enforcement officers or captains or whatever. And it took them about 3 months to conclude that there was probable cause for an arrest. Is that correct?
No, not really, because we were waiting on medical examiner medical information.
Okay.
So that takes a while. The OIS or OMI, Office of the Medical Investigation. So we were waiting on those reports.
Okay. So really nothing was being done for a while. You were all in limbo waiting on those reports.
Indeed.
Okay. And so you had probable cause before those reports came in, but they chose not to file the charges and make the arrest until that came in, or?
Usually we try to compile as much evidence as possible, because when it's becomes a criminal case, then we have to ensure that we have all the evidence, because we go on a timeline here. We have a case management rule implemented by the New Mexico Supreme Court that places our office on a definitive timeline for all evidence and discovery.
And is that the same process used for all individuals, or is it different for police officers?
For everybody.
Okay. All right, great. Well, I appreciate your time, ma'am.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye. So there you have it from the public information officer from the Donna Ana DA's office in New Mexico. If you shoot someone in the back on camera and murder them, you get to walk free for 3 months while the DA's office waits for an autopsy report. As you guys just heard her say, the process is the same for police officers as it is for anybody else. Well, Felipe Hernandez was finally charged with second-degree murder. He was allowed to turn himself in, and it is believed that he is now out on bond. Let me know in the comments if you think he'll be convicted, and how much time you think he'll get if he is convicted. Also, be sure to check out the merch store to get some of these awesome designs printed on shirts, hoodies, and mugs.